We're joined now by the finest legal mind in America, in my view, Alan Dershowitz, who also happens to represent one of the January 6th participants, Brady Knowlton. Mr. Dershowitz, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me on Wise Guys. I went through all of elementary school and high school being called a wise guy. And then hopefully I became a wise man. I don't know, but I was surely a wise guy when I was a kid.
Well, it's probably a different meaning where you went to high school and where I did in Staten Island, but we kind of, we talk about the serious stuff, but we try to take a different perspective on it and put it into regular man's terms, which I know you're great at. We usually have a legal guy, Lou Gelomino, who breaks down some law stuff, and he's been telling me over and over again that it's so difficult. People don't understand how hard it is to get a change of venue. Is it possible for any of these guys, in light of these hearings and everything else, to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C.?
Absolutely not. This is the worst atmosphere for anybody who's seen as a Trump supporter to get a fair trial in D.C. since McCarthyism. And remember, too, the Supreme Court did reverse only once in its history a conviction based on those considerations. And the situation in D.C. now is far worse than the situation that occurred in Shepard versus Maxwell, the case where they reversed the conviction based on media coverage. Here you have a committee, a McCarthyite kangaroo committee, hearing triple hearsay, one side of the issue, no cross-examination, no opportunity to question anybody, and the jurors are all going to be exposed to that, and then they're going to be asked to render a fair trial as to, in my case, a law student who was trying to simply protest the process and within the First Amendment. No, there's no chance that fair trials can be had today. And I think any honest defense attorney and honest prosecutors will tell you the same thing. And so there should be a change of venue. There should be delays. There should be, as long as the people are not kept in prison, efforts to try to get a fair jury. It won't work if jurors from the District of Columbia or the surrounding areas are asked to judge events around January 6th. It won't be a fair trial.
So, Alan, in your entire legal career, have you ever seen anything like this, with the jury being tainted the way it is with January 6th, between the media, the January 6th committee, Merrick Garland?
Well, McCarthyism. I grew up during McCarthyism, and that was equivalent. There you had committees, the House Un-American Activities Committee, the Senate Committee, and they were talking about everybody being communists, and anybody who was accused of being a communist was treated unfairly. And I think now history has judged the McCarthy period very, 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 very critically. And I think history will judge this period very critically. This committee of Congress will go down in history as one of the most biased government operations in the history of this country.
Well, your client, Brady Knowlton, was literally seen walking in a door, pretty much let in by police. And since then, other guys who actually walked into the doors, other men who have actually walked in the door similar to your client, have been found guilty across the board by juries. Is that frustrating for you?
It's very frustrating. I think our case is somewhat different because we have very strong video evidence that strongly shows that it comes within a Supreme Court decision that says that if you're told you can do something and then the government changes its mind, it has to be explicit and clear, and intent has to be proved beyond any reasonable doubt. I think under the cases that we have, we should win this case. But whether a jury could give a fair rendition, I don't know. And it's very unfair to have to rely on courts of appeals or the Supreme Court, because, as you know, only about less than 5% of convictions are reversed on appeal. So we're facing the possibility of having a very unfair justice system.
All right, well, that's Alan Dershowitz, and that's probably the best we could do on some of the people involved in the January 6th shenanigans that we're watching on TV. You get the truth right here on Wise Guys, and you got to keep tuning in every single week.